an SMF form, test form, which is the database we made. We're going to enter a dot star 2, and we're going to create a user at the same time as we're assigning him grant all rights. So we're going to create a user. We're going to call him test form user. And now we're going to enter @localhost. And the reason we put localhost is because we're referring to the MySQL database on this server, not a different one. And then we're going to set the password, which is identified by, and the password, we're going to say the password is don't know. Well, again, do not choose that password. It's just for the purpose of the guide. Oh, looks like I made a mistake. Guess there's a little spelling mistake there. Just correct that. And there we go. Now we have it set up. We have a user set up called test form user, and his passwords don't know, and he connects to the test form database. So once we've done that, we can go to the next. Alright, now we set up a database. We can go ahead and close that window because we will not be going back there for a while probably. And what we need to do is now just download the form software. So we're going to open Internet Explorer here. We're going to go to Google, our friend. And we're going to look SMF, which is the Simple Machines form software, which is not available from the web platform installer at this time. So we're going to go ahead and download this form software, which we would like to use. And we're going to download in zip format. Yes, I want to download it. Thank you. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the content of the form here, which is this good stuff, and we're going to dump it into our root directory where the test form website, right up here, is stored. So the fast way of getting to the root directory is to right click the website and click explore, and what's that going to do is actually going to take us to our little page here, the welcome page, which is set up by default by Microsoft. So we're actually going to delete everything in here because we don't need any of that stuff. And we're going to bring up our SMF install that we download, and we're going to copy everything. Yes, copy, and we're going to paste it into our website folder. And by the way, if you're you can't find it, it's under the C drive, inetpub, www-root. That's where it is. That's where Microsoft always put it. And you can create more websites under the inetpub. Do not create other websites under www-root. Not recommended generally. Alright, so once it's installed, you could say we're pretty much done with the hard lifting or hard part. We can actually open a web browser to the form software. Now, okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to browse to our local website to get the installation script. Now, since we didn't ever configure a binding to the website or anything like that, it should just use localhost, which is what we want it to use. And we're going to open it up. Now we're going to be greeted by the Simple Machines installation, which is pretty automated. Just follow the instruction. We're going to continue. Now the first thing it's going to do is going to tell us that something's wrong. It's going to say that these files are not writable, and they need to be writable in order for PHP to make changes and update the site and do the installation, all this good stuff. Now that's what we're going to do next. So the first thing we have to do is actually go to where the files for the website are located. So again, you can right click on the website or go to it through my computer. You click explore, boom, you got the website content open right there, the www-root. And you can always find the default website because it's always at inetpub www-root under the C drive, unless you changed it. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to make these files writable for the form software. So we're going to go to each file. So we're going to start with index.php under attachment. Here's index.php under attachment. We're going to right click it. We're going to click Properties. We're going to click the Security tab up here. We're going to click Edit. And you're going to see there's an option called Users. And what we're going to do is we're going to click under the Allow column here. We're going to click Modify. When we click Modify, it will add it automatically to the right. When we click Modify, it'll give it write access, and so on. So we're going to click Apply, we're going to click OK, and we're going to click OK. Now we're going to repeat this process for each file. So let's speed this up a little. We're going to go to Avatars, right click again, Properties, Security, Edit, Users. Make it writable, Apply, OK, OK. Continue the process to all the files until they're done. Okay, did a little bit of fast forwarding there. So once we basically, again, you click the edit, you select users and you give it modify and write. You click OK, and you're done. So now the problem that we had where the files could not be writable should be gone. So we're going to click start over again by clicking enter. We're going to click continue, and well, voila, it is no longer saying it is stuck. Now we're going to begin with the installation. Now server name. Generally you can leave it as localhost unless there's a particular reason. In this case we're going to leave it as localhost, so it just points to itself. Now next, username. This is basically the database username that we created earlier, which was test form user, and the password, which we said is don't know, and the database name, which was test form. Now the table prefix, that's just basically what it says is when it injects all the information, the different tables to the database, it's going to put that prefix before every table so you can recognize it as being part of the SMF. Now you can change that if you want to, but probably this default is fine. We're going to click continue, and now it's going to ask us to give a form name. We're going to call it test form. In this case we're going to leave the local host for now. In the next tutorials I'll explain how to attach a domain to your form. It will be test form, and I'll show you how it works. I click continue again. Well, autocomplete now, and now we're almost done. It's 65%. We're going to click continue once more. Now it wants us to create a user that will be the administrator. So I'm just going to enter admin, don't know again, and I'm going to enter email. We'll just make one up, don't know at don'tknow.com. Alright, so the database password, I requested again. In this case it was don't know. In your case it'll be whatever you set as your password. And again, set a good password, lowercase, uppercase, letters, numbers, and all that good stuff. I'm going to click continue again, and congratulations, the installation and process is complete. We have installed our form. Now we can click your newly installed form, and we should be greeted with the form. Now the first thing it's going to tell you is there's that the install.php exists and the cache directory is not writable, and caching is used to improve the performance and lower bandwidth usage. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do those two things at once. We're going to go back to that original where the site is stored folder, and we're going to delete the install, all of the install files here at once. I click yes, I'm sure. Alright, and now what we're going to do is we're actually going to the cache folder here. We're going to right click properties on it. We're going to go to security. We're going to edit. This is exactly the same we did to change the files rights. Users, we're going to give it modify right, apply, OK. Alright, I'm going to open the website. We're going to refresh it. And bingo. Alright, so the last part of this tutorial is fixing a common problem in the Internet Information Services in Microsoft. One of the problem has to do with DNS resolution. What will happen is it will not resolve the DNS, which will cause delayed time to first byte loading on the website. So for example, if I click general discussion, you'll notice that there is a few second delay in loading that. It's not as instant as it should be, especially since I'm using the computer directly. To resolve this problem, we have to edit something called a host file in the Windows Systems folder. So you can go ahead and click the Start menu and Computer. We're going to click the C drive. We're going to click Windows. We're going to scroll down to the System32 file. We're going to open that bad boy up. We're going to look for a folder called drivers, which is right there, the drivers folder. We're going to open that up. We're going to look for a folder called etc. We're going to open that up as well. Now, we're going to have a couple files in here. One of them is called hosts. We're going to double click on that file. It's going to say it doesn't know what program to use. We're going to select Notepad. We're going to click OK. Now, this is the host file. Some of you are probably familiar with it if you've been battling spyware and other things. What we want to do basically is uncomment this line right here. Remove the number sign, the 127.0.0.1 from the local host. And even when you bind a domain to the website, doing this does make a performance difference. If you go for a website like webpagetest.com and you run it through the test to see your time to first byte or how long it takes your website to present the website, you'll notice an extreme reduction, at least 50%, how fast the website comes up, and your end users will be happier. So we're going to click File and we're going to click Save. We can go ahead and close it. Now if I go back to my website, I'm going to click a couple buttons, and you notice it is much faster than it was before. Everything is just almost instant. You don't have to wait. There's none of that delay. So that is the first part of my basically instructional video, how to install the form system. Look to my other reviews on how to bind domains, how to bind domains from GoDaddy, for example. So when you buy a domain from GoDaddy, you can point at your server. And other cool videos on my YouTube channel, and check out my blog at osterminal.com. Thank you very much for watching.